Welcome to the R&B Only show. Please note that the opinions expressed here belong solely to the hosts and guests, not to Colors Worldwide Inc., our affiliates, or sponsors. The content is provided as is for entertainment and information purposes only, without any guarantees of accuracy or completeness. Colors Worldwide Inc. is not liable for any errors or omissions, nor does mentioning products or services imply endorsement. This disclaimer is subject to change, and we encourage our audience to stay updated.
We're thrilled to have Elle Varner with us.
Thank you.
Is this the first time that you're producing for yourself?
Yeah.
What does that feel like? What has that creative process felt like?
Oh my God.
There's been some rediscovery. What has that looked like? What do you think was the let's just let it all hang out kind of moment?
Ooh.
You have this damn J. Cole feature on Only Want to Give It to You.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
The universe.
R&B only.
Welcome back to the R&B Only show. It's your girl, Jovy E. And this week, today, we have an artist known for her raw talent, authentic sound. She pours her soul into her music and it resonates deeply with everyone who listens. We're thrilled to have Elle Varner with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not only singer, songwriter, producer, business owner, all the things.
Yeah.
All the things.
Yes.
So let's chat about what's coming next, because word on the street is you have a tour coming. There's music coming. What's coming down the road for?
Yeah, just more music. I'll tell you a little secret.
Okay.
I'm working on a project that I produced entirely myself.
Okay.
Ooh, and it's amazing, but when you get to the end and you're at that last song, that's when you start going crazy. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So this is a great break to step away and just regroup.
Yap a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
yeah.
So is this the first time that you're producing
Yeah.
for yourself?
Yeah.
What does that feel like? What has that creative process felt like?
Oh my God. It's telling my story on another level because I always was able to do that as a songwriter and a singer. And I would just have to find that relationship with the producer and their track. You know, with Refill, that track is so dizzying and oh my God, that it made me feel the lyrics in Refill and that situation. Now when I'm making tracks, I have one track that's it sounds like a hood, it's like trap renaissance. I
love a hood jam.
It's like a hood, like Robin Hood. It's a terrible way to describe it, but it has elements that sound like from 1800.
Okay.
I don't know the correct word. Baroque. I don't know. Whatever. Not broke. No. But I'm so dumb. But and the song is called Romeo and Juliet. But it's a very dark song.
Okay.
And it's really exciting. I'm like, wow, I came up with this. Damn, you know?
What is having playing so many roles in your music making process? Because you said you sing, you write, and now you've produced it.
Yeah.
What do you think has been your favorite part about creating this new body of music? Or what's the part that you're
Right. My favorite part is being pretty seasoned in my career. I'm not a newbie. To have the excitement of everything being new at this stage in my career is really wonderful. So there's times when I'm playing a bass line and I'll have recorded it 50 times and take 51. It's great or it's good enough. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be Thundercat. I
love
just
Thundercat.
He's the best. I have to keep the time, have the feel, just execute what needs to be said or done for that instrument. And I'm just learning so much about myself and what I'm capable of. There's no limits. I don't know how to do that. Well, today's the day we're gonna
learn it.
We're gonna learn it today.
Figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out today.
And on the opposite end of that, so I feel like what you're saying is you what you like most about this music making process is like learning and seeing how much more there is for you to do,
Yeah.
right? So on the opposite end of that, what is something that you're like we got to do this today, and this is like I'm gritting my teeth. This isn't like my favorite part about.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes drums, like drums, they're a little daunting.
In what way? What do you mean?
So programming drums, first of all, there's like endless possibilities.
Right.
And they change the song drastically. You know, the sound of the snare, which snare you pick, which kind of kick, where you place the kick and the snare. It's like, and understanding that, do I want acoustic drums like a Lauryn Hill unplugged, or do I want, boom bap? Do I want, there's so many, and I'm just getting comfortable, starting to get comfortable programming drums.
Okay.
And finding like my groove.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like when give me max 5 options and let me pick.
Oh no.
But this like wide variety
Thousands.
of any way it could go, and it's
Anyway.
all the foundation of how this song is going to sound. Like that too would drive. I get that. That would drive me nuts. And you said something that like, you're not new to this, but I feel like the game has, or the industry has changed so much in the last even 5-10 years.
Yeah.
How has it been trying to navigate not only you as an artist, but like now you have other artists that you're like mentoring and you have in your like artist development program? How has that been navigating it almost like new?
Ooh. The game has changed. There's certain things, like being professional is always gonna slap no matter
For sure.
what decade,
What profession?
Yeah.
Being I've always said that, or I've always heard that being easy to work with will get you so much further than that doesn't mean you have to be a pushover or like let people walk all over you, but just being a pleasure, like a nice or a good person takes you really far. Yeah.
And I think all artists have different journeys with that. I've had my bad days, don't get me wrong. But I just try to keep that in the forefront of my mind. Like, this is an opportunity. This is a gift. Somebody would kill to have what you think is not enough. And that's what keeps, I'm like, oh, wait, I'm tripping. Because of course I want, I would like things to be easier, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Like, this shit is hard.
Say that.
Really
say that.
hard. I was talking to one of my partners earlier about the frustration of like, man, I just like, when I was at a major label, I got paid to just make music. To go to the gym and get green juice and go to hot yoga and record.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
That's not the case anymore. And I don't want to throw up my hands before I really know that look, you got bloody knuckles. You gave it all that you could humanly give. And this is not for you. Like, not because it's hard or I'm having a bad day or a bad month or 6 months. Like, it might be a couple months. It might be a couple years.
For sure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I feel that energy again for the first time in a long time where I'm just like, this is so much more mental than it is about anything else. Like, everything else will fall into place.
The external factors of it all. What do you think? You said it's... You said you're now in like the space to, what do you think changed from maybe when you weren't in the space to like tackle all that you're tackling now?
Well, one, like sometimes like when your back is really against the wall, it's like you're gonna stand up, you're gonna step up to the plate or you're gonna fold. And I don't want to, I'm not, I'm pretty, I'm strong. I am strong. I might complain and boo-hoo from time to time,
Right.
but
I'm gonna get the job done.
I'm gonna get the job done. And then I think, as women, like I see a lot of this conversation. Of course, I want a fucking soft life. Like, damn, shit.
I'm just a girl.
So ghetto.
Just a
I
girl.
have to work. But then it's like, I thought about it this morning. I was like, what would you tell your daughter if she was actually saying this to you? Like, Mom, I just can't do any, like, I'm not capable. I'd be like, girl, if you
stop.
if you don't, like,
Yeah, right.
stop playing. And, like, look, times are different.
Way different.
Why not embrace, like, find the silver lining, find the excitement in it, and pivot. That's a word I love. That's new to me. Pivot. Like, okay, this is not what I expected, but
Yeah.
let's go with it.
I feel like I was just what was I talking to? I had to send an email. Somebody was doing like a spotlight, and I was telling them how the last kind of like 3-4 years have been just transitional phase after transitional phase, and now you're here. But like looking back, like even that journey, there's so much growth in that journey that just was so difficult and hard. You're calling my mom like every turn. But like looking back, I'm like, damn, like everything literally happened exactly how it was supposed to. And you can't get to this point without having gone through all of those trials and tribulations, as like cliche as it all sounds. But like the people aren't repeating that over and over again because it isn't the truth,
Yes.
But you also grew up in a very musical family.
Yeah.
Both your parents were like kind of like part of the backbone of a lot of what happens in the music industry, even though they didn't have like maybe all the limelight on them.
Yeah.
They were part of a lot of what was going on, especially like in New York, right?
No, here.
Oh, here.
Like my mom, Early Brandy, Maxwell, Barry White. My dad, he worked with Tevin Campbell. He was his musical director. He was even brought back on as musical director a couple years ago. So before, he was his time. But, so yeah, they were part of the
huge movement.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts.
I love that. So what was your experience, or how did your parents' experiences shape your own approach to songwriting and performing?
Oh, man. It's like it gets trickled down from just like Bill Withers, who they met on Bill Withers' tour. He gave them both so much. Like he told my dad one time when he was playing keys, he was like, he just stopped a rehearsal. He said, "Speak, Jimmy, speak. Because don't just play my stuff. Say something with them keys. Or this ain't the gig for you." So, I use certain techniques to this day where I know what to fall back on. I fall back on my soul, my spirit, my imagination. Imagine the note, just like imagine the ball going in the basket, and with you've practiced, but yeah, it's just little details. I feel like it's hard for me to cuss sometimes because my mom is like so adamant about just say another word. Like, can't you say something else? And she cusses so much, which is so ridiculous, but not in music.
Okay.
She's like adamant, do not cuss in music, but
That's
Fuck
beautiful.
It All is a great song. So.
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so beautiful. You also studied at NYU.
Yeah.
With Clive Davis's Department of Recorded Music, which, clock that.
Yes.
What was the most valuable lesson you learned there that you still carry with you in that sense?
Ooh. Off the top of my head, I would say being systematic about things. Like, you have to you start every session with the tempo. You don't do nothing before you have the BPM, because you can't go backward. And now you got different things in different places. And even things like labeling the tracks, it's like little annoying things that you're like, I'll just do it later.
The organization of it.
The organization. And that carries through I'm in that phase of my life where like, it's important for me to take a little extra time and acknowledge that this is part of the greatness process. Like, do the extra thing, take the extra minute, and see what happens.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's something that I feel like people might overlook, but like is the yeah.
And I used to kind of be a self-sabotager without even knowing it. I just was so all over the place that now it's like I feel like I have so much more respect for what I do, for my opportunities, that I'm like, this ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
You gotta step it up.
And that's like for yourself or like
for everything.
Period.
For myself, step it up, to go the extra mile.
Period.
You know.
Period.
Yeah.
You talked about your like the organization of it and you learning that from Clive Davis. What about when you think about like your approach to songwriting?
Oh,
How do you start that like process?
What, from like the school aspect?
Not from the school, just
Oh.
you personally. Like, do you start with a melody or a concept or something? Like, what do you start with and how do you build to getting a full song?
Ah, man, that's a great question. I think, especially working on this project of mine that I produced, I had to kind of change my approach. Some of these songs I wrote 4 or 5 different songs to the track, which I normally don't do, but the stakes are higher. I'm really like obsessed with it being great. And you know, trying different melodies is a great way to start. I guess what I'm trying, it's like a balance between whatever naturally flies out of your mouth and your brain, and how can I dissect this and methodically craft this song? Like, I think of Bruno Mars or James Fauntleroy, probably not just flying, probably more like, okay, this is crafted in a certain systematic way to get that impact, you know? So it's a mix of both.
But do you start with like, I don't know, I ain't never been in no studio session before, right? But do you
Studio?
I mean, in the studio, I'm trying to get on somebody's like interlude or something. I don't know. I be sending voicemails just in case to get put on somebody's stuff. But does it start with like, do you have an idea of like, you hear this beat and then you're like, I've been going through this. Let me write this. Or does somebody say something? I hear a lot of like, somebody said something in the studio session and we're like, ooh, that. And
that's that's exciting when that happens.
Yeah.
When it's just like, trap out, nigga. Like, I don't know. Like, if someone's like, you got one more of them? Ooh, you got one more of them. You got
and it
one.
just like
that's a stupid example.
Do you prefer to work like what does your studio sessions look like?
Dry as hell.
Really?
I am a dry, like, there's never anyone there. It's very rare that I have people. I think it's because of my ADD that it's hard for me to focus. So, and I always love to like, this is something I got from my dad and why I'm like this. I was never allowed to do social things until I finished the song.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to go to the movies? Finish the background vocals.
Okay.
So it was like, I knew that this is work and that's play.
Okay. There was
Now-
no like blending of
No.
okay.
No.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
I'm too serious. I have a stick on my ass. I've seen a lot of artists. I've been around artists that are just having fun and it's really not that deep and I envy you. Like it works both ways. Some people do not fuck around. Like if you're in their session, do not breathe the wrong way. And they're some of the best. So it's like whatever you
Whatever
like.
works, yeah, whatever works. But
Yeah.
yours, you get the work done first,
Yeah.
and then you can go to the movies and do what you
Yeah,
need to do.
yeah.
Okay, I feel like I don't know what my studio like. My ideal studio session. I just want snacks.
Oh yeah.
I just need snacks and like water and like a ginger ale.
I have a funny story. I asked, there's this wine that I used to love called Santa Margarita. I would always order it from the runner. And I asked the runner to bring me a bottle of Santa Margarita in the ice bucket. So he brings me a bucket of ice with the bottle poured into the bucket of ice.
No, don't piss me off.
No, he really
why
did.
would you think?
Bless his heart. He didn't
Why would
know.
you think?
But
Is
he
this an
poured-
unlimited brunch? Like
Oh yeah, that was going on the label. Thank you. No,
that
but
is so hilarious.
it was hilarious. Yeah,
Ice bucket
ice bucket full of wine. Yeah,
and a straw.
like,
Okay.
bruh, am I taking this to the face? That's crazy.
How has your? I mean, I feel like you've said this. Your creative process has changed or evolved since like when you since your debut album.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're just more you're obviously taking on more? Do you feel like you're
Yeah.
also just more dialed in than when your debut album came out?
Ooh, that's a good question. Dialed in. What do you mean by that?
I feel like when I'm taking on a lot, if I'm not just doing one thing
Yeah,
and I'm doing there's obviously a lot more on your
Yeah.
plate now, I feel like when I'm focused on these different things, the outside noise has to kind of fade.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
So I'm just more focused and dialed in on
Yes.
these things versus if I'm just singing, then I can go in the booth, sing my little ass off,
Right.
and I'm gallivanting. But
Right,
like I feel
right.
like there's less time for the gallivanting because
there's
you're
no
doing so much more.
gallivanting.
Yeah.
Gallivant free zone. Yeah, I'm not playing. I have to find balance sometimes and realize that like the quality of your work is going to be affected by the health of you.
Yeah.
You know? So like, yeah, it's good sometimes to go to 3 a.m. and eat, sleep, breathe the music, but like sometimes it's like, dude, go take a walk. Go touch grass. And then sometimes I'd be thinking like, man, if you're not experiencing anything,
What's getting put into
what are
the
you
music?
writing about? Because this,
Yeah.
R&B Only Live is a show that will take you on a journey of R&B music from past, present, and future. We bring together the best of the genre with our all-female DJs, talented hosts, and electrifying energy all night long. Get tickets to the tour now at rnbonly.com/calendar and vibe with a room full of R&B lovers.
What have you been experiencing that you're putting into this new album?
listen, thug life is what I've been experiencing. I feel like a man. I feel like no, seriously, like when men are like, I can't focus on dating right now. I'm focused on my career, and they put dating to the back burner till they feel situated. That's how I feel.
Okay.
And it's interesting because I'm like, wow, I didn't know I'd be dealing with this.
But at the same time, when men
this
say
time.
that, they usually say that when they're already on a date with you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So
totally.
is that the
soft
case?
flow to let me get it, then let me get the yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm really focused on work as we're sitting at dinner. Like,
or you're already dating and then they hit you with that shit like 3 months in.
Is that your vibe, or is it like I'm not even looking. I'm not even out here.
It's a non-factor.
Okay.
It's a non-motherfucking factor.
Okay.
I think that's the quote.
Damn,
I didn't want to tell all my business. No, but like, it's just not. It's not put it like this. It's not a priority.
Okay. I feel that.
If it ain't about the money,
hello.
if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Hello.
That's where I'm at.
No, I'm in my decentering men era too. If it comes my way and it aligns, sure, but I'm not going out my way.
I've never centered men. No. There's nothing to decenter for me.
Period.
No, but
speaking of men, you have this damn J. Cole feature on Only Want to Give It to You.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
The universe. I met Cole in college. He went to St. John's and he was friends with my homegirl from Fayetteville.
Okay.
So he came through. We would have like these parties on campus. And then I'm walking into the Sony building one day, a couple years later, and I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm signed to RCA. He's like, V2 or J, whatever. They're under Sony. So I was like, we should do something.
That's fire.
And I got him at the right time.
That's fire.
And that verse he put is so iconic. Oh my God, it's so epic.
That's Mike. I wanted to go to St. John's just because I knew he went there. Like until I saw how much out of state tuition was, and I was like, all right, y'all got it. But I love that. That's
full circle moment. I will say, I can't say what, but I saw him recently and it was in a studio.
Oh. I like that.
Yeah.
Your journey has been interesting, right? Because you started off very early, like on opening for Miguel and Alicia Keys in venues where it was probably really hard for you to connect with the audience and your fans. And I feel like now you're kind of circling back and really doing like the grassroots and connecting with people. You hopping on live, you on TikTok. Like it's like an open avenue for you to really connect with your fans. What does that look like and what has that felt like for you?
Oh, that is a great question. I will say this. I'm very much beginning to have fun with it in the way that I remember having fun being on MySpace, being on YouTube in the beginning. I never made it to vlogging.
Okay.
I skipped that, but I would be on Snapchat. I would be on Instagram. You know, you would see what I ate. You would see a vintage, just stuff that mattered to me.
Yeah,
it wasn't even about my body or nothing like that. And I'm just trying not to overthink it right now because it doesn't feel natural to me to just post pictures of myself and that's not where I'm at. It's like I want to let people know a little bit more of who I am and reclaim that for myself.
As
because when I was under the major label system, I had a lot of scrutiny that messed me up bad. Like I people think I don't post for whatever. It's because I'm like messed up. PTSD.
Real.
PTSD.
But I love that you're getting back into a space where, like you said, you're having fun with it. I feel like I miss the days. Do I really miss the days? I just remember the days of Facebook where it was like a random Tuesday and you just post in 75 pictures from whatever you did on Monday. And it's like there was no curation of it. It was just like, blah, here's the album.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if we need to go back there, but just having fun with and not taking your online presence, I guess, so seriously.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, and how have your fans like responded to your having fun with it on the meets?
Well, like on TikTok, I just went kind of viral on TikTok recently.
Her.
Doing the most random shit, of course, like
Isn't
not
it
even
always?
trying.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, I thought you were British. Like they're not my fans. So there are people that are like, oh my God, I remember her. Oh my God, I love her. I remember that. So it's like, let it click, honey. Like, do this.
Yeah.
Do more of this.
Yeah.
Because I am funny as hell. Okay. Like, whatever if I'm funny here or not, I don't know. But like, I'm an actress. I'm a comedian. I have a lot of personality, and I've just let all these voices and doubts block me from just putting it out there, putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm ready to be surprised.
What do you think? It sounds like something like changed, something clicked for you. There's been some rediscovery.
Oh yeah.
What has that looked like? What do you think was the like, F it, let's just let it all hang out kind of moment?
The concise answer, I'm not the most concise person.
I'm a yapper. Let it all
My
hang out.
life changed when my dad passed away, and I was left with the total responsibility. He was my manager, my booking agent, my producer. We were like this with my whole career. He came up with Perfectly Imperfect, not me. And I jumped right in to work. I got to make money. I have to live. So I was getting work, booked, busy. And then about a year and change into it, that's when I started to really like feel the grief. And then get to a point of like, okay, I don't even want to say life is passing you by, but like just this feeling of like, why not? One, recognizing that no one was going to rescue me. And if I am responsible for all this and my destiny is of my creation, what am I going to do about that? So just really being mature, realistic, and just being willing to do the work and
having to do the work.
And
for
having
real.
to do the work.
Yeah.
You know, when we put out Fallen Up, the first song I ever put out independently in November. We shot the video in October. I just put out the lyric video like a couple weeks ago. I still haven't posted from when I went up to Apple Music. I went up to Apple Music to play the music, and I'm crying hysterically. I was hysterical. Like, it was beautiful and powerful, but it was like
a moment.
It was a moment, and I just have to. I'm like really taking care of me in a beautiful way that I don't think I ever really felt I needed to do. Now, that is my job. And I'm honored to do it. I enjoy this exploration of who I am, what I'm capable of. It's like pretty fucking awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love the resurgence of like I said, rediscovering you and what
Yes.
works for you
Yes.
and what you need. Because it sounds like historically, like that maybe wasn't in the forefront. Like
No.
all that PTSD you went through with the major label, like there had to be work to recognize what went wrong then
Yes.
and do it better now. And it sounds
And
like you're
even-
doing exactly
yeah,
that.
even just being on autopilot or being a people pleaser, like one of those many things that I admire about the next generation, the young generation, is like they are not having it. If they don't like it, they're going to say it. If
10
they
toes.
want it, they're going to ask for it. And like, I was on the cusp of in between generations where it was like, you got to do what
You work this one job, you stay at that job.
You follow the rules.
Right.
You follow the rules.
Right.
And I think I'm like letting myself play a little bit like outside the line.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. We love a color out the lines moment
Yeah.
and making it your own
Exactly.
canvas.
Yeah.
That's honestly beautiful. But also back to what you were saying about like you have all this content that kind of has already been made.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw I think it was Tyler the Creator talking about like keeping your work and what you're because you love this music.
Yeah.
You love what you've done. You might as well keep promoting yourself on your own
Yeah.
socials, and there shouldn't be any kind of like shame or like embarrassment revolving around that. Like look at Doechii. Doechii has been in our face
Yes.
for months. She ain't left my timeline.
For years, she's been putting stuff out.
I mean, yes, she's been putting stuff out for years, but like I feel like since Alligator Bites, that mixtape or that project came out, like she has not left my For You page. She has not left my Twitter, what's it called? Timeline. She has been in the forefront of like, I'm going to say most, if not all of our like screens for months. There's no taking the foot off the gas. And I think that is how you not only the work has to be good.
Yeah.
And then you keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah.
And that's the making of a star. Like,
Absolutely.
I think more people should take a page out of that book. And I feel like it sounds like you have the content. You're proud of the content that you have.
Yeah.
You might as well just
I know.
run it. I feel like I know that it's easier said than done.
But it's baby steps sometimes, and it's just one foot in front of the other.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
Especially when it comes to discovering your authentic self.
And what you want to say and how you want to say it. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I feel like you're taking the right baby steps.
Yes.
And I love that for you. I love that for you. How do you feel about the like current state of R&B?
I think it is so overwhelming sometimes. Like there's so much. Like this. Are we gonna chop this up? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
How do I feel about the current state of R&B? I am, what's the word I want to use? Awestruck at what is being created in the minds of these newer artists. How they're able to redefine the genre, and then like you have someone over here that's like got this 70s vibe like Raven Lene, or someone over here that's like crooning like Giveon, or somebody rap singing. I don't know. It's just like
so many like fusions and
so
avenues.
many fusions,
Yeah.
so much new life breathed into it. Is that
Yeah, sure. Sound right to me.
yeah, breathed. Whereas like before, you kind of had like the sound of the moment, and that was where it was. Like you had your Teddy Riley, New Jack Swing, or you had the neo soul, or and it was like a definitive style of the moment. And now it is so vast.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Yeah, I
Exciting.
agree. Who are some folks that you're like really excited about and listening to these days?
I would say I named a couple. Definitely Raven Lene. I love Mariah the Scientist. I love Summer Walker.
Yes. That Heart of a Woman.
Heart of a Woman. But she got me at CPR on her. 'Cause it feels like
Or that Session 32?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think definitely SZA is pushing the boundaries
For sure.
of R&B. And who else? Men, who's some of the men? Leon Thomas.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I too am a dog. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Right.
I'm a very nice
bitch,
girl.
Listen. But
You
no.
got some stories.
I got some stories for days. Oh my God, that's another time. But no, he's so freakishly talented.
No, honestly.
Like that's the level. Writing, producing,
All the things.
using
for
the
real.
voice in so many different ways. Just storytelling, craftsmanship. Yeah, man, it's a lot.
But also so private at the same time, because if you listen to Mutt, like those lyrics is something crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about the entire project.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
love, there's like, girl, stop playing with me. Like there's
Right.
so much, but then I don't feel like we see any of that being played out in real time with him.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the same time, just like I said, you got stories, but like we don't see these things being played out in real time, but it's
Right.
gonna be in the music.
Yeah.
How y'all do that?
It's always blown my mind. I am the most like, I will walk down the street holding hands, kiss in public. Ain't nobody never see me do nothing. I don't know how. It wasn't meant to be, you know. I publicized one relationship back in the day that didn't work. So I learned my lesson from that. And, you know, I think in the future, I definitely could give a shit. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do probably for the rest of my life. I am free. Like, there's nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I was dancing on table. Oh, I used to cut up.
I'm so weak. I would like to see. I would like to see. Now you already said you have the Falling Up came out.
Yeah.
You have an album coming soon. Do you have is there a date or you?
Springtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Definitely before the tour,
Okay, which is in August.
How
How exciting is that?
super exciting. Super exciting.
Do you know how many stops are on the tour?
7,
Okay.
8, but we're adding dates around it. I have like 8 shows in 5 days, so that's
Lovely.
gonna be fun.
That's
5 days in a row, back to back.
I love that. So
Yeah.
we got tour in August. The
Yeah.
album coming out in spring before that.
Yeah.
And we have, tell me about before we wrap, tell me
Yeah.
about the your label.
212 Enterprises. It's funny because my senior project at NYU, my label was called Wild Child. Spelled with a Y. And it was about how I was gonna bridge the old school for my parents with the new school, which was me, and how I was going to do it. And I have a 30-page business plan for this label. Ended up going the major label route, working with other partners. So it is in its infancy, I would say, as far as like functionally it's there. But where I want it to go, I'm not in a rush. One thing that I am doing, and to keep my word, I'm dropping 2 songs on the 12th of every month for the next year. I started on February 12th. So 3/12, you're getting 2 more. These songs have nothing to do with my EP or album.
Okay.
They're just, it's like, you know, we got you. We got that work. Like,
Okay.
That's, yeah, I mean, part of the strategy of I would love to sign some new artists. I would love to help develop some new talent. I have a lot to offer. And you just have to listen to everything I say. But I'm serious because I know these. No,
Strict
but kind of
here.
like let me help you. But I think there's a middle ground between like. But that's part of artist development too. It's like I didn't want to do choreography. I looked ridiculous at 13 years old, but I'm glad I did it because whether I used it or not, it was just the process, you know? Anyway, so yeah, label management.
I love that.
Booking, we do it all.
She said, I'm every woman. It's all in me, period.
Yeah.
Catch her on tour this August. What's the name of the tour?
It's either called...
Not either called.
Well, okay, so I told you the last song of this project is called Lovesick.
Okay.
And I have yet to get the song where it needs to be.
Okay.
So
like the opener and the closer are always the hardest to like
feel
done with.
Yeah, Lovesick. But I love it because it's a double entendre. Like, yes, I get very lovesick, but I'm also sick of love. So it's fun.
She said thug life.
I said thug life.
She said thug life.
I can't. Thug life with the nails done. That's all I could give you.
I love it. It's been so great chatting with you.
Thank
I'm
you,
very,
you
very
too.
excited for this
Thanks.
new rediscovery, this journey that you're on.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to hear the music, see you on tour, all the things.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elle Varner.
All right.
This was episode, I don't know, of
41.
41, period. Episode 41 of the R&B Only show. Be sure to get your tickets to our R&B Only live tour in a city near you. We've got what, 50 tour dates. Catch you on. Go to rnbonly.com/calendar and get your tickets now. See you next time.